So our film is a horror thriller, psychological thriller, and so our first shot is going to be an establishing shot outside of the filming location, which is a house with a house party going on inside. You'll see bright lights flashing from the inside to indicate there is a party, and also a low drone of music that sounds as though it's coming through a wall. You'll know that it's nighttime because of the dark setting, which creates like an ambient effect of like a stereotypical convention of a horror film.
People will be stumbling into the house. As you said, there'll be lights. We did discuss a pan into shot just to get the house, and then it will move over here to an over the shoulder shot.
Yeah. The shots will be slightly out of, the house will be slightly out of centre in the frame to create a feeling of sort of unease in the audience. We don't want them to feel like everything's correct and precise. Then we move on to the over the shoulder shot, which moves into a point of view shot. So the camera will be slightly shaky to give the feeling of a point of view shot going into the house.
And yeah, that'll be walking down the...
Yeah. You'll hear laughing and chatting in the distance to create again that ambient effect of a party.
And then we move on to a foot shot as they're walking into the house. And that just shows that they are, travelling.
Yeah. This is a part one of two shots, so it will follow the feet from the back, and then as the character comes to the front of the door, they will stop, and as soon as they stop we will have a shot going round the side of them and coming straight into the house to a point of view shot of a female character. So you'll see the female character as we're spinning round, and then it will come into her point of view. So you've got from one to another.
She can see the person that's
and
just
she
walked
can see
in.
the person that's just walked in. This will be very sort of stop-start. It will be very flowy as you're coming up to the door, but then as we get to the door, it will be very sort of swoosh, stop, to create like a feeling of ease and perhaps panic. So the story feels as though it's stopped there in that moment and makes you recognise how significant that moment is.
And then the female sees the character, and then she's distracted, and then he disappears, and that changes from point of view to close up, and then point of view again. And then we have some flashbacks on flash forwards. And
from the moment that the female character sees the mysterious character, we will have different flashbacks to give the audience an insight into the storyline and how the characters come to this point, because our narrative is starting at the end of the story rather than the start. So our script describes the suburban neighbourhood and the kind of like lighting in the area. We also talk about the characters themselves to give the actors some guidance. Yeah, the anonymous character.
So slightly muscular figure dressed all in black lingers outside the house. The figure breathes heavily.
So this enables the actor to have some kind of direction without us having to directly tell them what they need to be doing, so they can get a feel of what their kind of character's personality is before they've even read the lines. Then also the blonde girl is wearing a short dress finished with fishnet tights and holding a wand, indicating that she's dressed up for a Halloween party. Her bright blonde hair is going to stand up against the dark background so that you can see her quite clearly, so that the audience is misled into looking at different aspects rather than the overall picture. Particularly with the anonymous character, because they don't have many lines, the actor will need to know what kind of body language to use to indicate to the audience the characteristics of this person. Yeah. So our beginning line is from the blonde girl and the boy that she's walking with into the house. They're going to be laughing loudly and talking about trivial things. We don't know exactly what the opening line's going to be, but we're thinking of a pun just to add some contrast to the horror movie setting with laughter. Then when we're brought to the door, we're introduced to Adele, who's going to be the main female character. Her reaction's going to be quite prominent in her body language. She's just going to sort of stop dead and just simply say "you," quite quizzically. and this is when she's interrupted.
Someone doesn't look very happy or drunk. You look so white, Adele, come and get a drink and dance with me.
Here you'll see the contrast between quite trivial behaviour from Amy and the quite serious reaction of Adele. They'll go into the party. Well, we've also indicated the different kinds of transitions and the editing techniques that we need to use. These are indicated in the script. So we've got swish transitions, jump cuts, and we've indicated those to the right-hand side of the script.